today in the NBA, there were a bunch of really important games that went down, so you know we have to talk about it. With some teams that are trying to make their way out of the play-ins and others that are falling into the play-in, it was overall just a crazy day of NBA basketball. We're going to start off with the 76ers and Cavs game. I personally really want to see a playoff series between these two teams. I feel like it would just be such a fun, high-energy environment. I also think it'd be a really fun test for a new guy like Donovan Mitchell on the Cavaliers to show what he's worth. Show if he can take down a juggernaut in the 76ers. As of right now, when it comes to the standings, it doesn't look like they will be matching up unless it's in the conference finals, which I don't see happening. I don't see the Celtics and Bucks getting knocked out and not being in the finals. Either way, though, it would be crazy. I just cannot believe that Joel Embiid is like a real person. This is a big man who is going in the paint and hitting Kobe fadeaways in the mid-range. Like, what? Who is this guy? Also, Embiid was driving in the paint all night long. They just could not stop him. Now, in the Cavaliers' defense, Jarrett Allen was out of the game, but I'm not going to act like that would make a gigantic difference. I don't think anyone on their team could guard a guy like Joel Embiid. But, I mean, you have to do what you have to do. There's not many people in the entire league that can guard a guy like that. I also want to give a lot of credit to James Harden for everything he went through in Brooklyn, then went to Philadelphia and had a couple good games when he first got there, but overall, like, wasn't that good. He's really turned things around. You could tell he really wants to win, and I think it'd be really cool to see them win a championship. But then you have these Twitter reports that are saying that he might go back to Houston and might go back and be a Rocket next year, which I cannot even describe how absolutely fucking stupid that would be. Like, there's no way that is a real report. I don't know how dumb you'd have to be to leave the 76ers, a team that is a championship contender, to join the Houston Rockets, who is currently already out of the playoffs. They're already out. They have the O next to their name. I have one exception when it comes to James Harden going back to Houston, and it still doesn't make sense. I'm not trying to justify him going back to Houston, but if Victor Wembanyama all of a sudden is a Houston Rocket, there's something there. There's something there. Kidding. He should stay in Philadelphia. He shouldn't go anywhere unless Philadelphia all of a sudden just drops out of nowhere and they all suck. Yeah. Another thing about Embiid is that he was in foul trouble majority of the game and still found a way to really push through, not foul out, and carry this team to a win. For the Cavaliers, though, Caris LeVert had a great game off the bench, but not enough to really push them over the edge and beat the 76ers. Donovan Mitchell is just a special player. I don't know why I feel like I need to say that. Everyone already knows. Just want to get it out there. The next game we had on League Pass was the Grizzlies versus Miami Heat. After the Miami Heat had to listen to Nickelback because of Jimmy Butler punishing them after losing their last game, they did not mess around. They came out and got that win. But the Miami Heat have really been struggling. I've been saying this in a lot of my recent videos. For a team that was in the finals just around 3 years ago, which, not gonna lie, is a lot longer than a lot of people think, it's cool to see them push through and get this win. And I don't want to discredit their win because a win in the NBA is still a win. I said win about 5 times there. Please bear with me. The Grizzlies don't have John Morant, and I don't want to say that as a knock to them because this team is good without John Morant. We've seen it before. That's just how they are. But hey, they got the win. Their record is looking better, and they're moving up in the play-in. They might actually reach the playoff spot, which is pretty cool for them. Also, the news on John Morant today was really weird. He met up with the NBA and the commissioner, and they pretty much said, we're going to suspend you for another 6 games with no pay. Technically, it was 8 games, but the 2 that he already did with the suspension counted. So yeah, that's where 6 comes from. They also said that near the end of his suspension, he will be working out more, so he will be prepared to come back right after. And they also did this really corny ass interview with him and Jalen Rose. It was so pointless. I don't know why they did this. It was the stupidest shit. I don't even think anyone would watch this, if I'm being really honest with you. If you didn't watch it though, long story short, he said that it wasn't his gun, but he still takes accountability for what he did.
Whose gun were you holding?
Well, the gun wasn't mine. It's not who I am. I don't condone any type of violence, but I take full responsibility for my actions. Made a bad mistake.
Maybe it was actually all fake, everything he was doing. I'm excited to see who the real John Morant is. I can't wait. Also, before I end the segment about the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, I want to say, Jimmy Butler, if you're somehow watching this, please send me some Big Face coffee. A lot of you guys don't really know this because I don't really talk about this, but I'm absolutely obsessed with coffee. I drink it all the time. So Jimmy Butler, like I said, if you're watching this, I would love a Big Face coffee sponsor. His ass is not watching this video. Next up, we have the Kings versus Bulls. Oh my God. Now I'm gonna admit I was out having dinner for the entire first quarter, so I did not get to watch that, but the rest of the game, oh boy, do I have takes. Starting off with Alex Len getting minutes. I don't know what the fuck Mike Brown was on tonight, but these rotations were weird. Now, me personally, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm not a fan of Alex Len. I don't like him on my team. I'm not a fan of him playing the center role. Sorry, Alex Len, you're probably a nice guy. Overall, though, the Kings just played really sloppy today. A lot of really dumb turnovers that made absolutely no sense. But at the end of the day, guess who came through? De'Aaron fucking Fox. This man came through in the fourth quarter, as he always does, and clutches up, which is why he should win the Clutch Player of the Year award. But either way, DeMar DeRozan somehow got this 4-point play. I don't know how this is a foul. You really count this as a foul at the end of the game is actually insane. The Bulls did go ahead and tie the game after that free throw, in which De'Aaron Fox brings up the ball and hits this.
You gotta stay in front of him. Fox is the guy.
Fox beat Orlando with a 3 this year. Here he is for the win. And he buried it.
Told you.
I'm not even surprised. I'm not even fazed by this anymore. The funniest part to me about this is that if you go back and watch his game-winning shot against the Magic, which was for sure a crazier shot, this dude got up and was yelling. He was all around his teammates, all hyped. For this one, all he said was, "I'm fucking nice." I love this team. I love this team. I love the Kings. Oh my God. With that being said, though, the Kings deserve to have a clutch player of the year, coach of the year, and executive of the year. We'll see how many of those they get. For the Bulls, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have any notes down for them. I just know that the fans absolutely hate Vucevic, which, yeah, that's rough. The Lakers versus Rockets game was definitely interesting. The game started at the same time as the Kings game, so when I went to check my phone after the first quarter, and I saw that their asses were down by nearly 10 points, I think. Let me double check that so I don't sound like a goofball. Yeah, they were down by 12 points after the first quarter. When I tell you that I got the biggest smile on my face when I saw that. With AD deciding to sit out for load management, the Lakers were basically out of the game up until the end where they actually almost came back, with Austin Reeves having a great game. But I also feel like Dennis Schroeder has been a really big part of this team that not a lot of people talk about. At least every time I watch the game, I see this man destroying everyone. But at the end of the day, Anthony Davis cannot sit out on games like this. I feel like the Lakers went into it thinking, oh, they're just the Rockets, you know, they're the bottom seed. They're not even going in the playoffs. They're not going to do anything. But you have to remember that this Rockets team, just the game before, beat the #2 seeded Celtics. So you can't just take AD out and be like, hey man, rest because this team is ass. You have to actually give them some credit because they went out there and kicked your ass. So I really hope that that wakes up the Lakers. Now, obviously, that might not be why they kept AD out. But if that's why they kept him out, I really hope that this is a wake-up call for them. And AD sees, damn, I have to actually put in work right now if we want to get to a good spot in the play-ins or playoffs. For the Rockets, so I don't really have much besides Jabari Smith Jr. has been playing a lot better recently. But I do want to make a quick statement. I don't want to try to victimize the Kings and be like, oh my God, why does everyone hate us? Because we're finally doing good now. Everyone seems to really like our team. Everyone likes the beam, all that stuff. Really fun, right? But could you imagine a world where the Kings picked Jabari Smith Jr. with the 3rd spot and he turned out to not be like an amazing player? Could you imagine how much shit this team would get? I'm sorry, this is a really pointless argument, but I feel like out of nowhere, everyone is all of a sudden on the Kings bandwagon. I'm not going to hate on. I love that everyone enjoys the team. Everyone enjoys the game of basketball. I just feel like it's crazy because I feel like no one really talks about Jabari Smith Jr. not being a really big part of this team or really having an effect on this team. But then again, they are a losing team. It's not like they're doing anything crazy. So maybe when they start being good, we'll see more talk about Jabari Smith Jr. and see if he's maybe not all that or if he's actually a really good pickup. Anyways, I didn't want to take anything away from him. He's still playing great as of now. Beginning of the year, maybe a little bit of a different story. But for Rockets fans out there, I hope you guys enjoyed your 2 cool wins. But yeah, you guys have to go back to tanking because Victor Wembanyama is waiting. The Celtics versus Timberwolves game was also pretty crazy. The Celtics really needed this game, especially after losing to the Rockets, as I said earlier. With Jaylen Brown absolutely in his bag tonight, pulling out a 35-point, 10-rebound game. They were lucky to get this win. They only won by 4 points, and I think it was Kyle Anderson who ended up getting a technical foul at the end of the game, which gave them 2 free points. That did help them a lot because if the Celtics lost this game against the Timberwolves, NBA media and NBA Twitter would be on fire. They'd be calling Jason Tatum a fraud. They say this team's not winning championships. I swear, that is how it would be if they lost this game. And it would all be because they lost to 2 teams that were below 500, even though, okay, the Timberwolves are exactly at 500, but you know what I mean. For the Timberwolves, they're doing a lot better than they actually were earlier in the year, as they're trying to push for a spot in the playoffs and getting out of the play-in situation. But with teams like the Lakers, who are literally looking for a playoff spot, they don't care about the play-in. They want the #6 seed, which is the same seed you're going for. You have to be really careful for that. Anthony Edwards, though, has been absolutely insane for this team. I love watching this guy play. But if you're a Timberwolves fan, you obviously have to really hope that when Cat comes back, this team will be really good. With Cat coming back soon, if you can't finish outside of the play-in, because you're gonna have your 2nd best player back on your roster and you still can't push to be a playoff spot, that is a little bit scary. I mean, we all know the terrible trade they made for Rudy Gobert, all the picks that they gave up. It would just be a huge mistake for the team. Speaking about huge mistakes, we have the Mavericks versus Spurs. The Dallas Mavericks, who haven't had Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving both play for them recently, with Kyrie being out because of his ankle, where he said that it's not good. That's a scary sign. And Luka, obviously, we don't know how long he's going to be out for because it's all up to him and when he feels more comfortable to be out on the court. It's not looking good. This is a team that is getting lower and lower in the play-in. Obviously, I'm not a part of the team. I'm not in the locker room every day. I'm not surrounded by these guys, but I can't help but feel like Luka Doncic doesn't like playing with Kyrie Irving. Bold take, I know absolutely nothing when it comes to what the environment's actually like. I can't help but feel like Luka just doesn't like having another guy to share the spotlight with, at least when it comes to clutch moments. We've seen around 2 games now where Kyrie Irving has choked a game-deciding crucial moment, and I feel like that's something that Luka is not used to, nor does he like having. Now, I think Luka is good enough to obviously adapt to this and change his play style and be really good in this environment, but I feel like everyone, including myself, sees him playing better if he had a really good center on his team. We're not going to bring up Porzingis or Christian Wood. They don't count. Now, I see the Mavericks making the playoffs this year. Obviously, I feel like that's a really easy take to have. And by the way, when I say that, I mean that they're going to go through the play-in games and then make the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see whether or not Kyrie Irving will be there for this, because if Kyrie doesn't even play and the Mavericks are a play-in team and maybe get knocked out first round or maybe don't even make the playoffs at all, there is a 0% chance that Kyrie stays with the Mavericks. And then everything that they just did all the moves they made, all the core pieces that they gave up, gone. Just like that. Just another season out in the wind. And you can't help but feel like that would maybe make Luka upset. I'm not going to say he's going to go out and request a trade and go to the Lakers, but like it's not looking good. For the Spurs, it was just another day tanking. I don't really have any notes about them because they're literally just tanking. I feel like I do need to make a video though about where I think Victor Wembanyama is going to go, or like what situations I think he would fit best in, because every time I talk about a team that is really bad, I always say congratulations on getting Victor Wembanyama. I need to have a team that I want, that I should predict on to get him. And the last game of the day was the Warriors versus Clippers. This game was an absolute dogfight with, I swear, Draymond Green getting into fights every 3 minutes. We saw a couple of technicals fly around. It was pretty crazy. But overall, Stephen Curry is an amazing player. We all know one of the best point guards of all time, Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, he's not good enough to carry the Warriors to a win against the Clippers because the Clippers really did win this game. I just want to say as well, it's really weird to me that all the Westbrook haters just all of a sudden disappeared. The guy put up a solid 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists, although he shot 6 for 16. It's a solid game. It's a solid game. That's all people were asking for from him. I just thought it was interesting that he's doing pretty solid now when no one says anything, but anyways. Kawhi and Paul George really took this game over. That's just how it usually goes. With Bones Highland getting another DNP, which kind of sucks because I really enjoy seeing him play. And the take I'm about to make, I know it might age absolutely terrible, and I know I might be asking for hell here, but I really need to see a Kings versus Clippers matchup in the playoffs. I know the Clippers have some insane talent, but you can't tell me that that would not be one of the most fun series you would ever see in the NBA. Let's not forget that they just had a game not that long ago that was the highest scoring game in NBA history. This would be the most fun series I've ever seen. I really want it to happen, but I want the Kings to win. If the Kings lose, then it wouldn't be worth it, and I would not want to see it. With that being said, though, that is everything that happened today in the NBA. Let me know down in the comments where your team is in the standings. I really want to know. I reply to everyone down there. And also, be sure to click this video up on the screen, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Later.